Okay, we're back. We're back for part 4. Like I said, so this is like so you can watch these in your leisure. You don't have to do them like right now at the same time because I know time is precious and it would be easier for you to have little shorts instead of having to listen through a long 40-minute lecture. Okay. So hopefully you can interact. Hopefully you've been having no issues. In the last part of this series, in my thing, in my description, I will provide my email address so that if you do have any questions for me, or if you want additional help, we can set up a video chat through Zoom, and I can address some of those issues that you might be having. Okay. All right. So we're going to share my screen again. Make sure we have sound on there just in case I need it. Okay, so here we are again, our demo class. All right, and one thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about this time are the students and their groups and this bunch of things down here. Okay, all right. So obviously you got your whole class here. Okay, you got your students. You got students here, and you can make groups. So if you wanted to have table 1 to be Beyonce, Jennifer, and Justin, you can award just the group. Okay? You want to change it or edit or delete, it's right here. If you want to add a group, you can do that here. Okay? If you want to group them like in heterogeneous groups or homogeneous groups, do you guys know what those terms mean? Heterogeneous means what? It means like not same abilities or levels. That could be a homogeneous group. Or heterogeneous, sorry. If you're looking for homogeneous group, you're looking for the same levels. They're all at the same level. So if you're going to differentiate your lessons and you really want the children to work in groups that are differentiated, then they will be awarded points based on their participation and behavior when they're working in their groups. So this is a really nice thing. You can give groups points instead of actually giving individuals. All right. Okay. And remember, Class Dojo in our school, we're not giving points for grades or for like, oh, you got 100%, you get Class Dojo points. No, because I'm a firm believer, and I don't know, this maybe just is my opinion, but if your students are well behaved, that you won't have the many different issues in their grades, because except for the ones that are really working at a lower level, because they'll be on task. They're going to be attentive. Your classroom management and everything is on par, so there's no wiggle room for them to not understand. When you got so many distractions and these kids are playing here and these kids are playing here and they're not paying attention and they're distracting each other, the learning gets cut in half. So that's why it's really important to award the children based on behavior and to really focus in that because of that issue. Okay, so if you want to award Beyonce, says no family is connected yet, and that's normal. You want to award Beyonce for helping others on task, you can change these too. Now, when you go in to change them, you have helping others and on task. You can go in and actually add a skill. All right, you can change the icon. Is it going to be something where we have, this or this or this, or washing their hands, or however you want to, if you want to say thank you or anything, you can change the icon. If you want to address a skill that might need additional work, you can add that in. So for this will say, which I have a lot of trouble with in my classroom, is I'm gonna say something like a down, right? Yeah, I'm gonna do a down because we are saying that if you can't say something nice, don't say it. Okay, that's the skill we're working on, and since it's really important, I usually give it a 2. All right, and save. So let's say I go back to my class here. Okay, let's go to Denzel. Denzel needs work. He can't say something nice. He misses too. But Beyonce, she's really on task and she's working hard. Okay. And so these are where these points come from. And the nice thing about the negative is it can go positive. All right. We're -2, but eventually you know how this works. Okay. So this is the points. This is the students. This is what it looks like. Again, if you're stuck and I'm talking too fast, you can always pause and go back, right? Look at it again. Don't just take it for the first time if it's too much. Okay. All right. Now I want to add quirky. Okay. This is my student. Now, you have to give a first and a last name. And the reason why when you go to add students, you have to give first and last name, because maybe you have more than one Tamira or more than one Muhammad in your class, or like in the Middle East, we had more than one Ahmed. I mean, like maybe there were 3 or 4 Ahmeds or 3 or 4 Nasirs or whatever in the classroom. So it's good to have that last name. Okay, so I'm just going to add Kirky Corky. Okay. And save. All right. And now Quirky is there. Okay. He's in my class because there's nobody. If I added him and I had students connected, and that's something else we'll talk about later, you would see a shell, like an egg. Okay. And that means that student has not yet been has not signed in yet and adjusted his or her avatar. Okay. So that's this. All right. And the groups, and we'll talk about this. So every class dojo has a toolkit. Toolkit is really kind of cool. You can have an on-screen timer, set it to what you want. You can select children at random. Maybe you're doing like a quiz or a review, and you want to select someone at random so that you feel like they're not being favored. That would be this. Your group maker, obviously we already talked about that. This is really great for noise. You can adjust the sensitivity. So maybe in the beginning of the year, you're going to bring the sensitivity to here, because they are still like learning about how to be quiet and this type of thing. And you can set goals for your kids. If you get into the red zone, even I can't do it, then you will lose points, right? But here it's really difficult to get that far. As they learn that skill more often, you can start really expressing yourself more, and they have to be more sensitive to their noise level. And by the end of the year, they should know this really well, and it should not get higher than this. Now, maybe reasonably it will get higher than this, but at the same time, this is a really cute thing to have. All right, let's go back to our toolkit. Directions. What are your directions? Our directions would be maybe our classroom rules. New. Add an item. This direction would be the classroom expectations. You add the item number 1. You have follow directions quickly. Okay, add. Okay. And so here are your classroom expectations. This is the activity name. The kids have to memorize the rules. Okay, something like that. All right. All right, that's directions. Think, pair, share. You can do this even on a morning daily notes, maybe in their homeroom. You can add one for yourself, or what are you grateful for today? What is something you've grown better at in the last week? This is kind of like an assessment. It would be a great assessment tool for you and your students. All right. Okay. Let's go back. Today, what is today? Today is Friday, November the 4th. Thank God we've gotten through the first week of November, right? Maybe something else that you want to talk about, your daily announcements, a welcome message, morning work, etc. Really kind of cool. All right. And then The one that my kids really like is the music. So there's a focus music, sounds like this. So you can say to the kids, whenever this music plays, I want you to focus and get quiet and be ready to start class. That's something you could play in your 5 minutes, waiting for the transition between classes. Okay, because it runs about 5 minutes, honestly. Okay, another one that they have here is the music for being active. When would you use an active music in the classroom? Does an active music maybe to clean up? It's time to clean up, grade 3. It's time to clean up, grade 6. You need to clean up your mess, get ready for lunch, go wash your hands. There you go. Something that they've already started doing or preparing to go home or this type of thing. So it's a great way for them to lift their spirits or to refocus or to get their body moving. It's really nice. Okay, so that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about this time. We talked about students, the groups, and our different things. This is a toolkit. I'm not going to go. We will go into each other button down here afterwards. Basically, attendance, you've already seen it, but we will look at it briefly and go through these buttons and maybe look at some other aspects, like how when you add students, what is that menu that you receive up on top. Okay, all right, so this is what this one's going to be about. I hope you enjoyed listening, and your mission this time, should you choose to accept it, is to really go through those things, maybe set a date, maybe an activity, write down your directions, do something that the kids are going to really enjoy. You know your kids better than I do. Just have fun with it. Today is more of like this session is more like, how comfortable are you getting with Class Dojo? Because, we want to dance. I can only dance waist up today because my knee is still really sore, but it's getting better. For those who didn't know, I fell like a week ago. But yeah, I'm under recovery, and that's why I'm doing these from my house. Okay, have a great day. And if this is your last session for today, that's awesome. Otherwise, there'll be another one after this. Bye.